uncovering your AI visibility. You see, before you can improve your visibility in AI search, you have to know where you stand right now. Because here's the reality. If you're not actively tracking how AI models like ChatGPT, Claude and Gemini talk about your business, then you're flying blind in one of the biggest marketing shifts since Google launched. What gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed gets improved. And in this new AI-powered world, your visibility across these models directly impacts your traffic, leads and revenue. Most businesses have no clue whether AI is recommending them or their competitors. That's why the first step is to track it. Once you see the data, you know exactly where you're at right now, what to fix, where to improve, and how to position your brand to win. You need to understand how and in what way people are using AI. Only then can you start to influence what's happening and tilt things in your favor, because you're working with hard data, not gut feelings. There's 5 pillars to how tracking works. Pillar 1 is models, pillar 2 is prompts, pillar 3 is visibility, pillar 4 is ranking, and pillar 5 is sentiment. So the first pillar is choosing the models. Now there's many to choose from, but here's the 4 that I recommend starting with. The first one is ChatGPT, which is the most popular model, and particularly you need to be tracking the latest ChatGPT model with web search enabled. So at the time of recording this, that is GPT-5, and you want to use it with web search enabled because that's the experience that the majority of people are using right now, which is when ChatGPT gives you an answer and it's also checking the internet as well for further information. Then the second model I recommend tracking is Gemini, which is Google's AI model. Since Google has massive distribution and already has access to billions of users, this is a key major model since they're deploying and embedding Gemini across Google suites of products. And then I suggest Claude. Claude is by Anthropic and is the next major model that is trusted by millions of people. In fact, in some niches, Claude is actually more popular than ChatGPT. A recent report by Menlo Ventures showed that Claude has higher market share than ChatGPT in enterprise usage based on a sample of technical decision makers at companies building AI applications. That's mainly because Claude is great at writing code, but nonetheless, Claude is a major model many people are using. And then finally, I recommend Grok. This is the AI developed by Elon Musk at XAI, and this has a lot of social adoption because people are often using this on Twitter and tagging it to provide them further information, context, and fact checking. There's more models you can choose, but these are the 4 I recommend starting with. And then the second pillar of tracking is the prompts. They're the things that people are tapping into AI models. Prompts are just a new way of referring to keywords. Now there's 3 types of prompts that you need to track: organic, competitor, and brand. Organic prompts are natural searches a user might make to research your category in general without the specific mention of a brand name. They're at the early stage of their search journey and are open-minded. They're researching and want to be pointed in the right direction. These will have the highest search volumes. To give you an example, say your company was selling headphones and you are, in this case, Beats by Dre. Here are some of the organic prompts that you might want to be tracking. So you can see the examples here. What are the best wireless earbuds for intense workouts with good sound quality? Which headphones offer the best noise cancellation for frequent travelers? What are the top-rated portable speakers for outdoor gatherings? Which audio brands are known for strong bass and clear audio? Which brands offer headphones with excellent battery life for all-day use? Which, you can see the other one just above that, which earbuds will stay in securely during running? So you can see these are generic prompts. They don't mention a specific brand name, and the user is at the early stage of their research journey. And these are the searches that would have the highest volume because they're open-ended and they're research-based. They're not mentioning a company in particular. And then you have competitor prompts. This is when the user is at the middle of their buying journey and has some idea of what they're after and is comparing between a few choices. It can be, for example, comparing your company against others. So here's some examples. How do Power Beats Pro compare to Apple AirPods Pro for fitness? Beats versus Sony, which headphones are better? What are the main difference between Beats and Sennheiser? You can see the other examples there. Now, these are important to track because what's happening today is that users are outsourcing their mental thinking and decision making to AI. If they ask AI, what is better, X or Y? If the AI says Y, the person will believe that Y is better. Even socially, you see it happening now where people will say, ChatGPT said, so it must be true. This is only going to become more and more embedded in culture. People are going to become dumber because they will let AI essentially think for them. So you have to make sure AI is in harmony with your business. You need to track these so that you know how does AI view you versus competitors. Then you have brand prompts. This represents the last step of the buying journey. This is when the user is making a search specifically about your brand. They're checking something about you in particular and your products or services. Here's some examples. So you can see what are the key features of Beats Studio headphones. Are they good for high intensity training? How does the Find My app work with Beats products? Are the pill speaker a popular choice? Can you use them with non-Apple devices, etc.? These are all prompts that are like very specifically about Beats headphones where they're checking something in particular. Now, these are also really important because you want to make sure that AI has the correct information on your business. For example, let's say someone is checking with AI, what are the opening hours of your business? Is the AI able to find the information? And if it does find it, is it accurate? You need to make sure that AI is able to both find the right information on your business and what you do, and also that it's actually correct. You don't want AI to give missing or wrong information out to people. So you need to be checking all of these things. So that's the first pillar. The models that you want to track, and then the prompts that you want to track on those models. And as I broke down for you, we have organic prompts, which are open-ended, big searches. Then you have competitor prompts, which is where you're getting compared against making another choice. And then you have brand prompts, which is where someone is checking specifically about you and your company. The next third pillar of tracking is visibility. This is simply tracking yes or no, did your business get mentioned by AI when the prompt is used? For most businesses, what you'll find is that you will have visibility on all or most of your competitor and brand prompts. And if you don't, then you have a big problem with AI finding out information on your business. Implementing the steps I'm going to show you later in today's training will be extra important for you. And most businesses are likely to have limited to no visibility when it comes to organic prompts, because naturally, unless you're already a market leader, AI may not be finding you. You'll need to do the work to fix that, because naturally those will be the highest volume searches and where the most opportunity to get new customers from will be. The majority of people are not going to be specifically searching for your brand. And then the fourth pillar of tracking is ranking. This is what your position in the results is when the prompt relates to providing a list of results. And this is especially important for the organic prompts. So for example, if I type in what are the best fitness headphones into ChatGPT, most AI is going to return you a list of the best choices. So the ranking is which number in the list your business appears. So again, coming to this example of Beats and headphones, if I type in best fitness headphones, it's given Beats as number 1. So the ranking in this scenario, we'd mark that as number 1. And then the final fifth pillar is sentiment. This is essentially, what is your reputation with AI? Does it say good things about your business or bad things about your business? This is important to monitor because, as mentioned, people are outsourcing their decision making and research to AI. In the future, with the rise of agents and automation and AI-based e-commerce, AI will literally actually make and execute decisions on behalf of people. So you will need to have a good reputation with AI. It needs to think good things of you. To determine sentiment, you look at your prompt and the response that came back, and then you just classify it as either a positive, neutral, or negative response. So those are the 5 pillars of tracking: models, prompts, visibility, ranking, and sentiments. With these 5 pillars, you have the foundational infrastructure to begin your AI SEO journey. Start by sitting down and brainstorming all the prompts someone might use in your industry. Break them down into organic, competitor, and brand like I showed you. And then set up a tracking spreadsheet. Something like this, for example, where you have the prompts, the models, and you're marking down the visibility, the ranking, and the sentiment. Then go and run all of those prompts in each model and fill out the spreadsheet so you can see and assess all your current AI rankings. And then at a minimum of once every week, go ahead and run all of those prompts again so you can monitor for improvements and update the spreadsheet and see what's happening. This forms the basis of knowing where you're at and what you're working to improve. Models, prompts, visibility, ranking, and sentiment. So then we come to step 2.